This would be a steal for the Buccaneers after a pretty terrible loss against the Lions on Monday Night Football. The Buccaneers suffered an injury to Hassan Reddick. Their pass rush takes another hit, and now the Bucs are looking for an answer that is possibly right around the corner with the trade deadline coming up on November 4th. I'm Sebastian with the Buccaneers Digest. Welcome back, everybody. Trying to keep the energy up a little bit more after. Listen, we're all trying to reel from a really frustrating, just not fun, very bad, no good day last night. But Mike Evans wouldn't want us to. I talk like he's dead. He's recovering from his injury, but he wouldn't want us to sour on this team. And I still believe every team, every Super Bowl team has their tribulations. The Lions, they're a formidable team. They're a respectable team to lose to. We've beaten them in the past. They've beaten us. It's a back and forth thing. But my guess is there's a good chance we see them again in the playoffs. But now we have to set our sights forward to beating the Saints on Sunday and getting into the bye week with just a 6-2 record, which is very respectable, and just trying to figure things out and getting ourselves healthy again. But in the meantime, there is a specific aspect of this team that has been a major factor of discussion, and that's our pass rush. So before we get into this, because there is someone I really do want to talk about, there's someone that's been suggested in articles. Subscribe, seriously. Like we're almost at 2,500. We want to keep building this thing. We're going to be doing a stream this Sunday for the Saints game, so it should be fun. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, anyway, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you for anyone who's already here, already interacting. The memberships have been doing well, so all that good stuff. Anyway, let's just go right into this because it's who are we talking about? None other than Bradley Chubb. So our Florida brother team or sister team, however you want to call it, or at least one of them, is not doing very well this year. Miami is a complete disaster of a team. They are probably in the middle of blowing it all up in terms of just going on a fire sale for their players and probably going to be firing their coaches soon and all that stuff. Bradley Chubb is a very notable name because, listen, I know people are like, Jason Licht doesn't make big trades in the middle of the season or just really at all. I respectfully disagree. He makes trades, but he does trades that involve mid-round picks, like a Gronkowski for a fourth rounder. And I think that this would be a trade that wouldn't require like a high draft pick, like a Trey Hendrickson might, or a Max Crosby, which I still think that the Bucs should consider and do some calls with the Raiders. But at the same time, if we're looking in more of the realistic area of what something Jason Licht might do, Bradley Chubb is absolutely on that short list. Ryan Heckman from the Pewter Plank had to say that we know the Dolphins aren't going anywhere. We know they will be smart to be sellers at the deadline with the way the franchise is trending, and Chubb is the ideal sell for Miami. Chubb might be exactly what the defense needs while Hassan Reddick is out. He is getting an MRI today, so there'll be another update probably later today. And regardless of how long Reddick is out, Chubb still makes a ton of sense as another edge rusher. As we've seen teams like the Philadelphia Eagles prove in recent years, you can never have or develop enough talent at a position like that. Completely agree. It's one of these things that if you undervalue a position of that much strength, of that much importance, it can really just completely derail your entire season. The Bucs won their last Super Bowl because of our elite pass rush. Amongst other things, obviously, great coaching and Tom Brady. That'll help you. But at the same time, I still believe this is a Super Bowl caliber roster. Despite what happened yesterday against the Lions, listen, Baker played his worst game as a Buccaneer. Just everything seemed a little bit off with the offensive game plan. Detroit's defense, despite their injuries, really showed up. The penalties were egregious, and just the calls, just in general. Baker and Todd have already talked about that in their post-game pressers. But moving past that, the fact that our pass rush is really struggling to get home, it's worrying. And now with another one of our guys out for whoever knows how long, it's a matter of can this team sustain a good rush and get the quarterback making under pressure throws and feeling a bit more uncomfortable during the game. I'm still under the impression that that's not going to be the case unless we make a move. And I think a lot of Buccaneers fans are feeling the same way. Chris Broswell not looking like what we wanted him to be when we drafted him in the second round in 2024. So now it's a matter of, okay, what's the answer here? Bradley Chubb, I think, would be something that Jason Licht is seriously considering right now. So I also want to talk about Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report had to say, Chubb missed the entire 2024 season after tearing his right ACL in Week 17 of the 2023 season, and he tore his left ACL when he was with the Broncos back in 2019, which is the same one he tore back in high school. Yet acquiring Chubb would likely only cost a mid-round pick. He has 4 sacks this season in 2025, but only 15 pressures in 7 games, along with a 59 pass grade rush from Pro Football Focus. Diaby has a 65.5 pass rush grade, and Reddick has a 60.6 PFF pass rush grade by comparison. So it's like, okay, would we be getting similar production by bringing Chubb over onto this team? I actually think that it's not necessarily the case, that we could actually be getting higher production by Chubb coming over here. Like, just look at Miami situation. It is complete disarray. The vibes are horrible. The coach doesn't look like he wants to be there. Tua's pointing fingers at everybody. It's just a complete disaster there. So you're not going to be getting the best out of your players and motivating them to play their best when stuff like that is going on, when your team is just a complete just dumpster fire. Whereas when you bring Chubb over to this team, where Todd Bowles really does a good job getting the best out of his defensive players more than anything, or just his players in general, I think that we would get a much better version of Chubb. And hey, listen, we have experience, taking an ex-Bronco player who wasn't, being utilized like maybe he wanted to be, and turning him into basically a borderline superstar here with Shaq Barrett. So I think it's something that the team is very much going to should consider, and I think there's a good chance it actually happens, because like I said, would only require maybe like a 4th or 5th round pick to get him because of his injury history, because of maybe his lack of production recently, because of the he missed the entire last season. He has 4 sacks on the year so far, but it's on a team that's like really struggling in all facets. So I do think a change of scenery will help him. This happens all across the league in tons of different positions. Like you get different players almost out of the same guy when they go somewhere else, and people were like, wait, why are they playing so much better when they went somewhere else? It's because, one, we have better coaching staff, we have better development, we have a better culture, and where they were was miserable. And I actually think that it has a huge difference, and you can kind of bring the love of football back to players like this. So I mean, listen, Hassan Reddick has been good for us. He's been doing a lot of he seems like he's maybe not what he was like in Philly or anything like that, but he's definitely better than what he showed in with the Jets last year. So it sucks that he's going to be out for however long, but at the same time, bringing in Chubb and then having a rotation with Hassan once he gets back, and Chubb and Yaya could do miracles for this defense, and I do think it's something that's worth considering for this team. For the long run. Jordan Schultz just mentioned, with the Dolphins sitting at 1-6, teams around the league are keeping a close eye on their pass rushers ahead of the trade deadline, including Bradley Chubb. No guaranteed money after this season. And then something that John Ledyard had to say was that this is a big one regarding Hassan Reddick's injury. Bucs have already lost a significant piece on their defensive line in Kalijah Kancey. Losing Reddick for any extended period of time would force Broswell into a larger role, and he's one of the few weak links on defense. And it's something just that people keep bringing up, is the fact that our depth, especially on defensive line, is not what we want it to be. Now, Elijah Roberts has kind of been soaring recently in Kancey's absence, and I think that's been another just home run pick from the Buccaneers. But again, this is what we have. Kancey might not be back at all this season, and at best maybe for the playoffs. But we're running thin on players, just the injury bug, and I think everyone wants a superstar. Everyone wants to get like the best pass rusher available on a bad team, like a Max Crosby. I don't think Trey Hendrickson is going to get traded just because the Bengals seem like there's some life to that team and they still have a chance at their division. But regarding something like a Chubb, I think is very much in the realm of possibility for the Buccaneers and for Jason Licht, who doesn't like wasting or risking, I should say, like a first or a second round pick on a guy that you just, it could derail your. He doesn't have that, screw that pick, those picks attitude like the Rams once had or some other teams once had. He knows that this team is amazing at evaluating talent and getting, developing their guys. It's just a matter of, okay, this is a known commodity here with Bradley Chubb. This is, he would probably very much elevate his production when he goes to this team. So the question is for you guys, how are you feeling possibly about Bradley Chubb coming to the Buccaneers? Do you like this trade? Would you accept a 4th or 5th round pick to go get him? Or do you think, no, that's not good enough. We need to get one of the elite guys like a Max Crosby and go for that instead of, settling for like another Hassan Reddick, essentially. But yeah, let me know in your thoughts down below how you feel about this. I do actually think that the defense is playing pretty well and that the stats aren't really indicative of how Todd Bowles has been calling things. That there was a lot of bailing out that the Bucs defense was trying to do. They got a few turnovers. Dean has been playing actually a lot better than I've been expecting. I do want to do a video about him sometime this week. But let me know what you think about Bradley Chubb, just the defense in general, how Todd Bowles is coaching guys, draft pick value, all that good stuff. I really am interested to hear what Bucs fans have to say down below. But remember, keep the faith, guys. It was a sucky loss last night, but you just kind of have to flush it. I mean, you learn from it, absolutely. The team has to learn from it. Baker has to be better, all that stuff. But at the same time, we have a long season ahead of us. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Just because we weren't able to beat the Lions, there were a lot of different factors to that game, and there are a lot of things that we can improve on, and I think that we will. And just learn from it. Take out your anger on the Saints, get that win, go into the bye, and regroup from there, just injury-wise, all that stuff. Anyway, until the next video, I'll see you then.